is a record, a memory of 2 Sundays and 2 roads that lead to the same rendezvous by the sea. The first Sunday found us driving toward a town half an hour away from Manila. A town alive with helter-skelter signs of commerce and the bump of traffic. People getting on with the dailiness of a life of stop and go. Here, poor and well-to-do breathe the same dust and the rust of the dry docks. Here, the boredom is relieved by a gambling spree at the cockpit and a lively sense of folk humor. It is a town of people who live by the sea, who earn their livelihood by the sea, who work and play, who hope and dream and suffer and die by the sea. We followed this one road, coming upon a people who live a life of improvisations and cherish the virtues of survival. Amphibian boats, remnants of G.I. Joe to transport the day's catch to ramshackle dwellings. Images of the mass of men learning to make do in a humdrum world they never made. When they die, they are buried by the sea they were born to accept without question, to take for granted, to leave alone. It will not listen to complaints, nor comfort the suffering and the desperate, nor answer questions. Why are we here? Who are we? Where are we going? They are buried here in the cemetery by the sea, barbarous in ruins, beaten hard by sun, rain, wave, and wind. A cemetery part crumbling seawall, part dump, a chaos of weeds, sand and sawdust, neglect and decay. Still, there will always be fresh cement markers to letter with paint, to decorate with humble folk art that will disappear too in time, to give way to other markers. Sometimes in this place, all is not solemnity. Silence is broken by the noise of children in the afternoon. Their laughter is true and irreverence among the stone angels who smile and keep their cool and do not mind. That first Sunday, we saw and followed a funeral with the customary brass band and the ritual of touching glass to the final burst of pain from the loved one left behind to live a leftover life. Later, we saw another funeral. Again, a man of apparent means had died. Again, the inevitable procession to the sea. Again, the inevitable brass band, followed by swarms of people, children, relatives, neighbors, friends, and more children who smile at the musicians who earn their livelihood by accompanying the dead with music they play over and over again, with little variations each time that the living do not notice, nor the dead mind. Then the moment arrives, as if on cue, the sound of brass music stops. The final lament of the living, beyond the reach of any consolation, breaks through the afternoon silence. we watch the ritual of hands carrying the youngest members of the family, one child at a time, carried to and fro over the coffin, feet not touching any part of it. One by one, over the coffin, before it is lowered to the hole in the earth. For here the belief persists that this is the only way the innocent shall be spared from being haunted by the dead. The innocent, by all means, must be spared. Never mind us, the aged women seem to say, listening without words as the band plays its last piece in the twilight. The following Sunday, we returned to the same town. By some freak of chance, the funerals that passed through the streets that day were those of children. We discovered that when a child dies in that town, there is no band music to guide the cortege to the cemetery. Only a crowd of relatives gathering all sorts of curious bystanders along the way. As for this poor man, there is precious little. No crowd, no rented ornate carriage, no music. Only the stillness of the afternoon, the vagrant breeze, and the desolation of his own grief keep him company. For this father who bears on his shoulders his dead child in a plain box, no ceremony. A relative roused early from sleep digs a grave. Who minds the informality of his clothes? After all, it's an innocent child of poor parents who died. Grief hunkers in the shape of a mother who must settle for less, much less than an elegant burial. A cross, a crooked mosaic of stones will do. And in time, these will vanish in rain and wind, in the tangle of eternal weeds, the oppressive silence. We went back to the hub of the town and came upon another cortege. Following it, we discovered many things about the town itself, some fugitive qualities of its life, its substance and shadow. We saw people bearing up with the humdrum rhythm of a life of touch and go, making do in makeshift surroundings, enduring the dailiness of routine, of disease and filth, of constant irritations, big and small, of monotony and boredom. The pattern of yesterday is sure to be the same tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. Occasionally, the pattern of one day is interrupted by a pause. Death is passing by. It's being pulled out into the naked streets. Well, it will fill up space in tonight's small talk, perhaps. Life must move on, and one must keep moving on, and move on talking to fill up all the emptiness of the evening. For one who has not much use for talk, one clings hard to the comfort of a hereafter. In this town, as in others, death is a long and elaborate ritual. But the wake is not all solemnity and gloomy shades of gray. Stepping into one house where a wake was going on, we were overcome by the various sounds of merriment. People chatting. A man playing a guitar. Another singing a pop tune. The spirit of joy is a way of honoring the dead. Not a bad idea. In this case, a boy of 6 or 7, keeping his little man's dignity amid the singing and the chatter around him, the laughter and the smiles that light up the face of the girl who brings in the coffee for the players of Scrabble and Domino. And the man who brings in the stronger, manlier drink. The wake is long. Those who must keep the dead company must be pampered. They know the dead child will certainly not mind that those who honor him assert the fullness of life itself with songs, games, smiles, dreams, and wishes. Life sustains its gaiety, even as a tomb is being made. A death persists, even as the sea prevails, the sea that never sleeps. After the burial, there is the droning sound of prayers offered for the eternal peace of the deceased man, woman, or child. For 9 consecutive nights, relatives, neighbors, and friends pray for his repose. But even this part of the ritual of burial is not all solemnity and murky shades of black and gray, the smell of candles and the taste of ashes. No Filipino ritual or celebration, either for the living or the dead, is complete without a feast. In the Filipino lifestyle, celebration always means food. Plenty of food for everyone. The kitchen overflows with food and drink, as well as a glow of sweet content and fellow feeling. Even in the midst of death, the good life is a full belly. Even as night falls quickly over the cemetery by the sea, life asserts itself. with a tumbling exuberance and disorderly surprises. Life manages to say no to the coming of night. The living manage to say a quiet yes to all the sweet distractions and diversions of being human and alive in this humble town by the sea.